Hello friends, I am on the banks of the river Yamuna and I want to share with you some of my thoughts on children giving extraordinary performances. Such performances are culturally celebrated and encouraged, but it makes me sad whenever I see a child giving an extraordinary performance in any field. So, why do I feel this way? It is because that extraordinary performance is the culmination of an unfortunate process in which the child was pushed to seek and pursue that extraordinariness in that particular field. You see, children, by their very nature, are generalists. They like to dabble in a lot of things, and their mind keeps switching from one thing to the other. And this is an evolutionary thing because children need to learn a lot of skills and in a variety of fields, and that is why their mind learns by switching contexts, right? So one thing does not interest them for long, and it is rare for a child left alone, left free, to seek a high level of extraordinariness or high level of excellence in one particular field or art, right? So what makes them do it, right? So whenever I see a video of a person, of a child who is dancing very well or singing very well or doing very well in spelling bee, for example, I see that it is the result of months and years of pushing that child to seek and pursue that goal, which is a worthless goal, right? In the way I see it, there is nothing morally superior or morally great in being better than your fellow human being, right? Why should doing something that others are not able to do be a great thing, a morally superior thing, right? It is connected with our fear of death, that we don't want to cease existing. That is why we want to do some extraordinary things, so that we leave a legacy. And this fear of death, fear of limitedness of life, does not exist in large parts in children. So they do not, by their very nature, seek such extraordinary world beating performances. um, so it is we who push them in that direction. It is we who, by a mixture of praise and criticism, and which stimulates their dopamine and other neurotransmitters, we try to push them in that direction, that okay, this is a great thing, you should try to perform which others are not able to do, and that is something that you should feel proud of or feel pride in. So this is a very bad thing that we teach them. Even if we, by our own nature, are driven to seek materialistic goals, we are driven to love fame and uniqueness and extraordinariness. So I'm not saying that children are immune to that, but in whatever tendencies they have to seek and pursue these things and not be satisfied, not be calm without achievement, if they have some of these tendencies, it is our duty as adults, as people with more experience, as people with greater understanding of the realities of life, to teach them to restrict those tendencies, to stop, suppose a child comes crying and says that, oh, they came, they performed very well in some sports activity or some classroom examination and I could not do it. So in that case, it is our duty to tell them that that is not a goal worth pursuing. That is not the goal of life is not to be superior to your fellow human. There is that being better in some exam or some sports activity does not add any value in any way to anyone's life. So rather than teaching them, rather than subduing or softening their ambitious and materialistic tendencies, we contrarily we push them, we encourage them. Oh, you were good, you did, you came fifth this time. Next time we will work harder and you will come first, and then I will give you something, some this thing or that thing. And it is such an unfortunate teaching, such a huge opportunity lost to give the right teaching, and we give completely the opposite teaching to the child. We and when does a child give an extraordinary performance? When this thing is done over and over again repeatedly for many months and years, then the child becomes obsessed for that goal and seeks and pursues it so vigorously that he becomes an extraordinary performer. And that is why it gives me pain that, this child is dancing very well today, but how many years of painful crying, days and nights and hours, how many hundreds of thousands of hours of crying is behind it, when the child did not want to do it and the parents told them that, oh, if you don't push yourself, then you will not be able to achieve, right? Or when the child, suppose a child is dancing and becomes tired that I am not able to do this particular step, it is our duty as adults to say, okay, if you are not enjoying it, don't do it. Or there is if it is something that you would like to do, obviously you are free to do it, but don't pursue it as an obsessive goal. That don't think that doing that step is a great thing, that you should do it at any cost, and not doing that step is a sad, tragic disappointment. So it is our duty to tell them that there is nothing like that. If you are able to do that step, well and good, you can try it, but if you are not able to do it, well and good, right? So there is something that I have shared with my friends, that we should share with all children, that while there is courage, there is some virtue in pursuit, in not leaving something, there equally there is also virtue and courage and wisdom in letting go, in leaving things. If something doesn't work very well or is not working, it is perfectly honorable. Even in some sense, it is more honorable, more wise, more courageous to take a step and say that, okay, I'm not doing it. I prefer my peace. I prefer my happiness. I prefer my contentment, and letting it go. So this wisdom we are unable to give our children. We ourselves suffer from such endless pursuits and seeking, and our children also have these tendencies to some extent, And rather than softening those tendencies, rather than guiding them in that direction that, well, this seeking and endless pursuing degrades the quality of life, we rather teach them the completely the opposite thing. We tell them that, well, this time you came a little short, but next time let us work harder and you will break all barriers. What barriers are there to break? Why cannot we tell them that there are no barriers to break? Their life is a beautiful thing in this beautiful remote corner of the universe. It is to be experienced in all its hues and colors. There are no barriers to break, nothing to achieve, no one to outperform. We are sharing a limited time together, and we should try to have a good time for ourselves, try to give some peace and kindness to others, living things. This is the only thing of life, right? I mean, all of us, most of us, almost all of us adults know this, understand this. Still, we are not able to free ourselves from the clutches of these desires and ambitions and pursuits. True. But at least, even if we are not able to do it due to our evolutionary, survival, and hormonal tendencies, why should it stop us from giving the right education to our children? So this is something that this is the reason why, whenever I see a child giving an extraordinary performance in any field, I think about the story that went behind this extraordinary performance, and I see only sad process that led to this result. So please do share your thoughts also in the comments. Thank you so much.